creating a sales campaign in Twitter. Hit the black button, Create Campaign, select Advanced, hit Next. Select one of the conversion objectives. I'm going to go with sales. Hit Next. We can call a campaign whatever we want. I'll just call it Sales Campaign. Can choose if you want to use A/B testing. Choose if you want to use campaign budget optimization. I'm going to do that because I want the Twitter algorithm to figure out how much to allocate to each ad group that's going to optimize how many sales that I get. So in this case, the campaign budget as opposed to the ad group budget is going to be particularly important. So let's set that daily budget as 75 and let's set the total budget as 1,000. There's also some advanced options here. Standard or accelerated. I'd say if you're running a test, you may want to run accelerated, but let's just go with standard and assume this is a long-term campaign. We can call the ad group whatever we want, so I'll call this test ad group. Can choose if you want to have dynamic products ad or on or off. I'm going to go with off here. I'm going to run the campaign indefinitely until the $1,000 is used up. I'm going to set the goal as web conversions, and the conversion event I'm going to create new and call it thank you page in this case. And you can choose the event type. So you can see add to cart, add to wish list, download, lead, purchase, search, start trial, subscribe, etc. Page view is one of the most simplest ones. So let's go with that. And I'm going to say the post engagement attribution window is 30 days, which I think is reasonable if your product is reasonably cheap. If it's quite expensive, you're going to want to extend that. But you can't. So what you're going to need to do is track the results using your CRM, using things like UTM codes for Twitter ads, and then you're going to be able to see beyond 30 days. So for example, a 3-month window. Now the post view attribution window, I'm going to turn that off. So basically what I'm saying is that Twitter is only responsible for ads if people actually engaged with the ads. If they just looked at it and went and bought, then I'm saying that it's not Twitter that caused that. It very much could be, but that's a judgment call on your part. Hit next. Now there are two options here. There's the more advanced option, which is define the event with code. This is going to give you the most level of granularity, like seeing individual buttons that click, page loads, etc. So it's the most robust option if you're committed to Twitter and you're going to want to collect that all information. But if you're just trying to run a quick test, I think it's easier just to go with something like this and say, anybody that loaded the thank you page after they bought something on the website counts. Okay, let's put more money into Twitter ads after we see that we have proof of concept there, which is what a lot of people are looking for when it comes to Twitter ads, to say, does it perform comparable to something like Facebook or LinkedIn? So then we hit next. Next again. I just ran into an issue because I had already had an event called Thank You Page, so I just called it Thank You Page 2. You're not going to run into that problem. But then you're going to be brought to the section for installing the event. So you can use the tag manager, you can use the website code, or you can install the conversion API. So if we just look at the website code here, we can see which parameters we want: currency, value, email address, phone number, etc. Here's the code that you could just copy, paste into your website, or you could download the code here. Once you've set up the event, you set up the code, you're going to be able to choose it as one of your active goals. So I'm just going to go with this particular active one here that I called lead. You can choose your bid strategy, auto bid, target cost, or maximum bid. Maximum bid if you want to be very conservative, but I don't think that's necessarily the best option, because sometimes the higher cost per click are going to be the ones that are better at generating sales, which is our goal here. So I'm just going to go with the auto bid option and trust the AI at optimizing for sales rather than for clicks. And you can choose how you bid here by impression or by link click. I'm going to go with link click in this case. We can choose our placement options here. I'm going to leave them all open. Can choose the age range. Less important when you're running a conversion campaign, but if you do want to be very conservative, you could say something like 21 to 54. I've run into problems, for example, with Facebook, where it starts distributing the ads way too much towards seniors because that was just where the cheapest inventory was, and that's not what I wanted. But that's more of a problem when you run awareness campaigns. When you're running conversion campaigns, it doesn't really matter because the AI has a metric that it's optimizing for and a metric that you trust, which is an actual sale, not a vanity metric that can be faked with robots. You can check the language. I don't think there's any reason to target people that don't speak the language that we're running in the ads. We can specify the locations. So let's say United States, United Kingdom, and let's add in Canada, perhaps maybe Australia and New Zealand. Maybe, why not go with Ireland here too? Devices, I think all of them would make the most sense in most cases when you're running a sales campaign. You, again, don't have to be super conservative with your placements with conversion campaigns. You do with awareness. You have to be more conscious of that with awareness campaigns to make sure that you're actually reaching relevant people. We have some other audience options here, targeting premium subscribers, irrelevant in this case. We can target based on keywords, follower lookalikes, which is not generally the best option from my experience because there's a lot of fake followers. You can target based on interests. Keywords is generally what I default to here, but let's just try interests in this case, and we say we're going to target people that are interested in marketing, and then what it's going to do is give us this option here. We can select that. We could experiment to see, okay, does it have a category for exactly what we're selling? So we have like beauty, for example, business, etc. There's also conversation topics that we can target. So again, let's type in marketing here. Okay, we have people talking about Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Okay, let's target them. Adobe Marketing Cloud. Well, maybe I don't want to target them. Maybe they're more designers than they are marketers. Or maybe there are people that are more on the technical side of marketing rather than the strategic side, like they're installing the digital applications. So perhaps we want to leave that out. Maybe Oracle Marketing Cloud, maybe that's more relevant if we're targeting enterprise. So you just handpick whatever's useful in your case. We can retarget people based on our profile, probably not very relevant for most of us. And we can choose to optimize the targeting to reach people beyond your targeted audience when there's a potential to achieve better performance. I think in a case like conversion optimization, a sales campaign like this, you could leave this on. Not if you're running awareness, I wouldn't do it. If you really want to be conservative with your money, you could turn it off. But I don't generally see Twitter sending your ads to a lot of fake, irrelevant audiences. It doesn't seem to be inflating statistics as much as other platforms. So I'm trusting it a bit more, at least in its current state. It's changing very quickly. There's a lot of new features, so I don't know how true that's going to be in the future. And let's hit next. This is where we would create the ad. So we can put in text here like, buy these super running shoes now, if you're selling e-commerce. If it's business to business, check out the fastest way to implement a checkout into your e-commerce store. Or maybe it's a case study, how Lynn grew her practice revenue from $150,000 to $500,000 in 1 year. So a nice little transformative case study like this makes for a very good social media ad because it's telling the story about somebody achieving an outcome, and then basically you embed a Trojan horse in that, which is your product or the next step in the sales process, which might be talking to a salesperson, or it might be downloading a low ticket offer and then upselling them later to a high ticket offer. We can choose if we want to upload a photo or a video or go with a carousel. If you're selling a variety of products or you want to tell people a story about different benefits or different features, we can go with the carousel. Let's just stick with single media in this case. Upload an image. So maybe go with something like this. Or we could select an image from our media library. We can search for something in our media library, hit next. And then we could hit launch campaign. Now, the other thing we likely want to do with this is create different ad variants. And all we would do is select the ad here on the left and hit copy ad. Then what we could do is try with a different image, with a different headline, with a different offer. Now, with sales campaigns, you're basically testing 3 different direct response things. So it's the audience, the targeting, the offer itself, which might be like a coupon or download a brochure or get a free consultation. So test different offers. Often that's where you'll see the highest ROI with direct response. And then the third major thing to test is the creative. So what kind of image are we using? Is it a picture of the product? Is it a picture of the CEO? Are we using a mascot? Are we using different colors? Are we using branded colors? Or are we using the colors of the brand that worked with our product, or an influencer who uses our product? Some of the highest ROI is probably going to come from leveraging brands or people that your target customers already know. So for example, you can go to SparkToro and find out, here are the key influencers that have clout among the target customers. You can reach out to them you can DM them or cold email them or whatever and tell them, hey, we want to pay you to create a video about our product, using our product. And then what you do is you would put the video in the ad itself about them promoting it. Those are good in cases where you don't have an established brand and you want to piggyback off an influencer's brand. Another thing that you could do is have partnerships with brands, not necessarily influencers. So for example, bigger software companies, if you're in the software business, and piggyback off their credibility and try to include them or their case studies in your ads. And you'll likely get a much higher conversion rate that way, because you have the brand trust, even though your specific brand may not have that much equity at this point.